produced in HD. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 5:30.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Mooney. Search and rescue saved a hiker who fell off a cliff today. Here's the latest. The woman headed out to the Finger Rock Trail early this morning alone. Just before noon, she called her husband asking for help. He called 911 and the search began. Sheriff's deputies, a search and rescue team, and air support came out to search for the injured hiker. But even with all this help, finding her wasn't easy.
All we knew was from pinging her cell phone, a distance that she was away from a certain cell phone tower. So that was a very large area to search.
The woman was airlifted in a rescue basket and taken to UAMC. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says the woman suffered several fractures, cuts, and bruises. Friends and families whose loved ones were murdered gathered for a vigil to honor them tonight. News 4 Tucson's Erica Flores has more on Crime Victims' Rights Week.
Family and friends of homicide victims filed in, burning letters they had written to their loved ones. An emotional act, a symbolic gesture. Many with tears in their eyes. Those gathered here know someone who had been a victim of violence.
I love him and miss him. And I wish he was.
Carolina Irache.
That was Erica Flores reporting. Families spoke about the importance of forgiveness in order to move forward, something they say they're working on. Well, new details out of Boston today. Authorities say the bombs used in the attack strongly resemble a terrorist blueprint. They wonder if the suspected bombers had any outside help. Also in 2011, the mother of the suspected bomber was placed on the CIA's terror watch list as her son, 19-year-old Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, is recovering in a federal prison hospital. Boston is focused on healing and peace. Tributes for the victims are growing as people are allowed back into the blast site area.
It's comforting to all of us to be here and to be feeling, that we know that others are feeling the same way we are and that we're getting through it together.
Investigators sifted through piles of trash, finding a discarded laptop and fireworks receipts, hoping these items will lead to some answers. A new arrest in the ricin poison letters sent to President Obama and two others. Everett Dusky was arrested at his home in Tupelo, Mississippi. Just last week, FBI agents searched that same home and his former business as part of the investigation. Dusky is charged with knowingly developing, retaining, and possessing a biological agent, toxin, and delivery system, plus conspiracy. He's looking at life in prison if he is convicted. Rusty landing gear believed to be from one of the 911 hijacked planes discovered today. The gear was wedged between two buildings just a couple of blocks down from where the World Trade Center in New York is. Police confirmed this. The landing gear is part of a Boeing ID number. The two planes flown through the Twin Towers were made by Boeing. The landing gear remnant was discovered in the alley separating a luxury apartment building and a mosque. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner got its wings back today. The first commercial flight took off from Ethiopia and landed in Kenya safely. All Dreamliners were grounded earlier this year after a lithium battery caught fire on two flights. The FAA approved the redesigned battery system that Boeing says now reduces the risk of fire. The U.S. will get its Dreamliners in motion once the FAA approves the fix on the individual planes. Well, sit tight, travelers. The flight delay blues are almost over. The Federal Aviation Administration says its air traffic system should be fully staffed again tomorrow night. The FAA suspended all employee furloughs, adding more frustration to travelers. This suspension after Congress passed legislation permitting furlough withdrawals. The legislation is a result of the $85 billion across-the-board spending cuts. Well, nearly 125,000 Nissan Altimas recalled because of a problem with the spare tire. The 2013 models can have either over or underinflated spare tires. The problem stemming from a malfunctioning pressure regulator at a plant, which Nissan says is now fixed. Owners will be notified starting May 3rd. Dealers will inspect and adjust the tire pressure free of charge. Well, Tucson kids using film to spread awareness about bullying today at the Loft Cinema. Students shared dozens of 30-second PSAs they created. The Fund for Civility, Respect, and Understanding donated the money to help kids produce the PSAs. Levi Falavolita was one of the students who took part in the effort to stop the bullying. He talked about what kids can do to prevent it from happening.
One person can maybe stop it if they have enough courage, but I think if a lot of people would stand up, then we could stop bullying. This
is just the start of the Courage to Be Kind Anti-Bullying Spirit Week. 25,000 people have signed up to spread the message. Well, Buena High School reminding their students of the dangers lurking on prom night. The school staged a mock crash, hoping to deliver a memorable message to students. Junior and senior classes were brought to the football stadium to witness the mock accident. First responders from the Sierra Vista Fire and Police Departments, also along with an air evacuation team, then launched a pretend rescue of the victims at the scene. The event also involved presentations from MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and SAD, Students Against Drunk Driving. Comcast employees, family, and friends woke up bright and early for its 12th annual Comcast Cares Day. 250 volunteers teamed up to add some life to Centennial Elementary School on Wetmore Road. Volunteers whipped out their paintbrushes and gardening gloves to show kids it's okay to get their hands dirty.
We feel like we're helping today, but we're also preparing for tomorrow. We're not only providing a service job, but we're teaching kids how to be involved in service.
Well, this year, the nationwide event will exceed 3 million service hours and 500,000 volunteers since it began back in 2001. And coming up on News 4 Tucson Live at 5:30, the Tucson Police Department honors their own for going above and beyond their line of duty. And Tucson spreads awareness for babies born too sick or too early. We'll tell you how much was raised for this year's March of Dimes March. Keep it right here. News 4 at 5:30. We'll be right back.
First in HD, this is News 4 Tucson.